I know you're getting a lot of calls about having meetings here at the office with the whole stage 2 thing now, but we don't know what Premier Hergy has in store for us yet. I know. Yeah, well, stay tuned. All right, cheers. Welcome to, use the office if you please. Welcome to season 2, episode, what is it now, Kevin? 24? 25. That would be 25. Okay, 411 Live with Sterry, that's me. Powered by WeeStreem, fueled by Gales Gas Bars Limited. We are supported by Performance Heating and Air, also NWIC high-speed internet in Niagara. We're going to be talking to those folks a little later in the program today. And also Verge Insurance Group here in Niagara. All of these companies proudly founded and run and organized out of Niagara, serving Niagara, just like this show is, and just like this wonderful downtown St. Catharines pub and eatery, Fiddler's Poorhouse, where we will welcome you to the open air window in mere moments. So come on in, join us for the show, episode 25 already of season 2. Who knew such success could be had by a two-man show? Today, we are going to be sitting in this lovely sun-drenched open air window at Fiddler's, and in 30 seconds we'll fill you in on what's shaking. Come on in. Hello once again, and welcome, as I mentioned, to this June 24th edition of Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. Now, this is the big story of the day, gang. This is Ontario to move into the next phase of COVID-19 reopening a couple of days early. Now, this doesn't seem like, well, big deal, 2 days. Well, it is kind of a big deal because those 2 days encapsulate the days surrounding Canada Day. And as of 12:01 in the AM, June 30th, which is next Wednesday, we are going into phase 2, stage 2, whatever you want to call it. Now, that is mandated by the province, and that was announced today. All of the little ancillary details of the thing will be fleshed out for you between now and then. But here's the rub again, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that that is for the province of Ontario. We have not yet heard what's going to be happening in the province of Niagara, because Premier Hergy has not yet weighed in on whether we're going to be following along with all of the other municipalities in Ontario. And do I sound a little cynical and sarcastic? Yes, I do. Because this difference, this gap between the province of Ontario and the province of Niagara is starting to get a little bit old. And it seems to me that our, and dare I say, with too much emphasis, acting medical officer of health in the region, although it's acting like a province, the region of Niagara always seems to be dancing to his own tune and his own drummer, and we haven't really heard what the drums of Niagara are saying yet. The second stage further loosens public health restrictions with indoor masked social gatherings, up to 5 people allowed. Is that 5 people plus you? Is that like 5 people from outside your house? Those questions have been asked already at news conferences this morning, and they haven't been answered, but they will be apparently between now and June the 30th, which is next Wednesday, 6 days from now. when the thing opens up. Similarly, up to 25 people would be able to attend outdoor functions, while as many as 6 people could dine together on a patio. And also, dare I say, this is already happening because you see it on patios all over Niagara, because most of the restaurants have sort of done a little thumbing of the nose to the regulations, which can somewhat be to their detriment, because we have also an inspection blitz on. We'll talk more about that in a second. Now, for those of you that are getting a little bit of long hair syndrome, personal care services, hairstylists, nail salons would also reopen, as long as masks are worn at all times. That should have happened in phase 1, as a matter of fact, but anyway, there you go. Meanwhile, capacity limits on essential retail will move to 50%, up from 25% in step 1. Non-essential retail capacity increases to 25% as opposed to 15%. So the news of the Cabinet's deliberations comes as Ontario has now surpassed its own vaccination guidelines for phase 3. There's the vaccination rate plus key public health and healthcare indicators for step 3. 70 to 80% adults with 1 dose, 25% fully vaccinated. Now, apparently we're already there, but we're just kind of sneaking in to phase 2. Now, keep in mind, as I said, that is for Ontario. It is not necessarily for the province of Niagara, because we don't know whether Section 22 is going to be upheld any longer by the Premier of Niagara. Now, I'm a little gnarly today. I don't know why. It's a beautiful, sunny, gorgeous day in Niagara. We have some wonderful people to talk to today, but some of this stuff is just starting to... My wife gave me a bit of a trim, but what hair is left on the back of my neck is standing up a little bit. So, speaking of the program, an amazing man that'll put you in a better mood than I am putting you in.
Is it me?
I just broke another pair of glasses. No, it's not you, Kevin, but welcome to the program. Nice to see you.
Oh, yeah, good to see you. I thought with that introduction you had to be talking about me, but I guess not.
Well, no, to be perfectly honest. But a fellow that you did introduce me to, if that makes you feel any better.
Okay.
World champion para-bobsledder, an amazing Niagaran, Lonnie Bissonnette. We introduced you to him a number of weeks ago when he was heading off to, what was it, Switzerland? He was headed to?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think he copped the silver over there, if my memory helps me at all. But what we're doing today is there's a pretty important fundraiser in place. There's Lonnie, and he is, what do they call it? What do they call him? What's his nickname?
Mr. Para-bob.
Mr. Para-bob, yeah. Because he is so popular and he has won so many world championships, and he is going to be joining us at, in about a half an hour on the program, because he's getting behind a big fundraiser that's really, really important for Team Canada. And I thought heading into Canada Day, it was probably a really cool thing that if you were looking for something to support that would really make you feel good about yourself, by all means, we want to fill you in on this. Para Team Canada trying to raise some funds for a bobsled to train in, etc. And there's more to it than that. But the Million Minutes movement is underway, and Lonnie is a big supporter of that. So he's going to come by to tell us more about that and give us an update on how he's doing. And while we sit here in this beautiful summer day in the window of Fiddler's Poorhouse, we're going to be talking about bobsledding. Why not? Speaking of winter sports in summer, Kevin, we were talking about this just before we went to air. The Montreal Canadiens, the habitants, are making believers out of a whole lot of Canadian hockey fans these days.
Including myself, I have to say, as a, I bleed blue and white, but I'm on the bandwagon.
This is crazy. Game 6 against the Golden Knights of Vegas.
Supposed to be untouchable.
Yeah. Coming up tomorrow night.
Tonight.
Oh, that's tonight.
Tonight, 8 p.m., Game
Tonight.
6. Les Habitants, they got a chance, Lee. They could win one game and go to the Stanley Cup Finals.
But they've got 2 to make it.
Who'd have thunk it? No, they got one more game. That's it. They win tonight, and they're on to the Stanley Cup Finals.
No, I know. But if they lose tonight, they've still got another game.
You're right.
Like, all they have to do is win one of 2.
Yeah.
And it's nobody expected them to get here. And I'm not, believe me, you know more than anybody, Kevin. You're the hockey guy, dyed in the wool hockey fan, and player, for that matter. One of Niagara's best, as I understand it.
Well, thank you, Lee.
But I'm not. I mean, I'm not a bad skater, but I am by no stretch of the imagination a hockey player or a hockey fan.
I haven't
really
skated in so long, I don't even know if I'll remember.
Yeah, but the thing is, even people like me that are know-nothing hockey people are kind of amazed by this. We're kind of jazzed by the fact that one of the original 6, one of Canada's like most heralded teams of all time, has a shot at this thing.
A legitimate shot.
A legitimate shot.
They were supposed to get smoked by Toronto. They beat them. Supposed to get smoked by Winnipeg. Beat them.
Yeah.
And again, smoked by Vegas.
Yeah.
And they're up 3-2. They got a chance.
So, anyway,
they made a believer out of me. I'm enjoying watching them.
Whether you're a longtime fan or not, go Habs. I mean, it's just go Canada, I guess, is the thing. What better time for this to happen than now? We're heading into Canada Day. We've had some pretty dark news across this country over the last little while, and this is a real bright spot that people can kind of get behind. So Godspeed to the Habs. Okay, we're going to stick with sports for a little while, Kevin, but it's not really about sports. It's about inclusion. You might remember last week, if you were watching the program or watched some of the in case you missed it posts that we put up on Niagara 411. Oh, by the way, thanks again, Nick, as always, for your participation and your cooperation with this show. Nick's mom, I didn't say hi to you till late in the program last week, so I'm going to say hi to you right now. Welcome to the show, as always. Glad to have you along for the ride. And last week we were talking about the Pride Walkway in St. Catharines being desecrated, if you will, or abused, whatever word you want to use. And we showed pictures of it, and there were some rather interesting comments on the Facebook page.
That's a nice way of saying it, but just goes to show that there's still a level of intolerance.
Yeah, there is still a level of intolerance. And this is Pride Month for the LGBTQ2S+. I think I got everything in there, community. If I missed one, I apologize, but I tried to get everybody in there.
Lee, I'm just going to... Oh, Scooter Dooter.
There's the
right
Scooter Boy.
Right on time.
Every week.
He's punctual.
Every week. Glad to have you back on the show, bud.
Lee, we invite anybody to come on the show. You can come down and see us in person here at Fiddler's Poorhouse. And, of course, you can also click on the Zoom link that's in the post. We're welcome all the time. We welcome everybody. Gail is in our green room. And I know we'll get to her in just a minute.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give you the heads up that Gail's joined the program. But I think this is where you were headed.
This is exactly where I was heading. Carl Paul Nassib, born in '93. He is an American football defensive end for the Vegas Raiders of the NFL. Played college football for Penn State Lions, earning unanimous All-American honors as a senior in 2015. Drafted by the Browns in round 3 of the 16 NFL draft. Also played for the Tampa Bay Bucks. And he came out with an amazing video. This is probably precedent-setting, as I think, Kevin, the only active football star. And he's going into his second season of a 3-year, $20 million a year deal. So he has a lot to lose if intolerance wins the day. I don't think it will, because listen to this statement from Carl Nassib.
What's up, people? I'm Carl Nassib. I'm at my house here in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Just want to take a quick moment to say that I'm gay. I've been meaning to do this for a while now, but I finally feel comfortable enough to get it off my chest. I really have the best life. I got the best family, friends, and job a guy could ask for. I'm a pretty private person, so I hope you guys know that I'm really not doing this for attention. I just think that representation and visibility are so important. I actually hope that like one day videos like this and the whole coming out process are just not necessary. But until then, you know, I'm going to do my best and do my part to cultivate a culture that's accepting, that's compassionate, and I'm going to start by donating $100,000 to the Trevor Project. They're an incredible organization. They're the #1 suicide prevention service for LGBTQ youth in America, and they're truly doing incredible things. And I'm very excited to be a part of it, to help in any way that I can, and I'm really pumped to see what the future holds. That's all I have for you guys. I hope you have a great day. Work hard.
Carl Nassib. Kevin, it is precedent setting for an active, currently under contract football star.
I think this is huge. It's massive. Of all the professional North American sports, not only is the NFL the biggest, it's also the one that is...
It's also the most macho.
Exactly. It's the most macho sport. So to have somebody, and an active player, we've seen it in the past. Michael Sam, about a decade ago, came out as he was leaving college, entering the NFL, but he never actually played or landed with an NFL team.
And there have been NFL retirees and, vets, et cetera, come out and talk about the fact that that was their lifestyle. And you risk such ostracization, if there is such a word, by your teammates and that macho culture that is the NFL in the United States. Because NFL is a religion. Football is a religion in the United States. We think we know how to be fans in Canada. Nothing compares to a football fan in the U.S. Nothing. They broadcast high school NFL games. To thousands of people on the radio. It's crazy.
You mentioned it too. He's in the middle of a $20 million contract. This guy is in the NFL. He will be in the NFL tomorrow, next year, and for years to come.
Assuming that intolerance does not win the day. We'll see what happens. I don't think he was actually quite smart, I think, in doing what he's doing, because he could have stayed in the proverbial closet, I suppose, and been slowly, as people found out about his so-called secret, he could have silently been sort of shunted aside. But in this case, that can't happen. Nothing will be silently happening in this young man's career. And whether you agree with his lifestyle or not, it was a very, very courageous thing for him to do. Unbelievably courageous.
And I loved how subdued it was.
Yeah.
He took it upon himself. He went through social media and said, "Hey, just a quick note," and he hit it right at the beginning. He's like, "Oh, by the way, hey, it's Carl here, and
I'm gay.
And I'm gay."
So
okay, let's all move on.
And I don't like, and he seems like a sort of a shy, unassuming fellow. I don't want the publicity. Now, will he get a lot of backlash? He sure will.
I hope not. It's embarrassing if he does.
Oh, he will. He'll get hate mail. He'll get death threats.
Oh, he will. It's sad.
Yeah,
but
there's no question about that. I'm not naive enough to believe that everybody will embrace this young man and say, "Oh, that's great." No, the rednecks of the NFL fandom will definitely give this guy a hard time.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you're right.
Yep.
But good on him. I think that's a very significant moment in for gender equality in North America.
Oh, it is
to have,
huge.
Not only any sport, but an NFL lineman.
Yeah. One of the big guys.
Yeah.
I do want to also mention, coming up in the program around 1 o'clock today, the CEO, Scott Holmes of NWIC, one of our sponsors whom we appreciate very much. You see their logo at the top of the screen, NWIC, high-speed internet for Niagara. And Scott's going to be joining us in 40 minutes or so. All right, I do believe, Kevin, that you mentioned we have Gail in the green room, and she is now live on Niagara 411 Live. Gail, how you doing, kiddo?
Yay, I am unspeakably marvelous as usual.
Or should I call you Heidi? Those are some honkin' braids you got going on there.
I know.
What's
Gotta
happening?
wait till my hair salon opens.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I had something to braid, believe me. But I can't join you in the Heiderhof today. So, Gail, what's going on?
Oh, so exciting. Today is the first day of a 4-day conference on alternative education.
All right.
So it is the Alternative Education Resource Organization. And we have some amazing speakers. Let me get back to my Sugata Mitra.
Just when you thought you knew what you were talking about.
That's right. Sugata Mitra is going to be, and I've got the thing right here. How pro am I?
There you go. Look at that. Look at you go.
And
that's awesome.
I know. Yeah. And some really fabulous speakers. And it started today at 10:30.
All right.
You can go to aeroconference.org to find out more about it.
Okay.
And the workshops include some really fabulous things, such as youth-led free learner movement. And it's lovely young lady over here, Selva. She's running a self-directed education youth advocates for youth who want to do their own thing. But we also have some amazing people from all over the world. So this is 4 days,
4 days,
24/7 of people all over the world, including Judy Arnall, who wrote the Unschooling to University book. And she has that webpage, Unschooling to University, to tell everybody who is interested how to go on to post-secondary school without ever having any credits or high school experience.
Wow.
She's fabulous. And I can say so much more. Stephanie Schuler here is on the UN group for climate and ecology, and she's there representing education. She's from Toronto.
Wow.
And we have some really heavy hitters. And Gina Riley, who works with Dr. Peter Gray, who is one of the top. He writes for Psychology Today, and he's one of the most well-known since, sadly, the passing of Sir Ken Robinson, who a lot of people might remember for his TED Talk on Do Schools Kill Creativity?
Okay.
So her new book is on unschooling, and that's her research, her what do you call it? The PhD. Her PhD
thesis
document is that.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So it's going to be 4 days of really amazing stuff. It starts again at 1:00. You can find it at the website or on Whova, if your viewers are familiar with Whova.
Yeah.
And one last thing.
Yeah.
I'm starting a course. I'm providing a course for people who are interested in learning more about home education. So it's an introduction to homeschooling, Planet Parent series. It's an in-depth, intensive. So you really have not only information you need to make an informed, conscious choice, but the confidence that you may feel you're lacking because we've been, conditioned to think that we need to have other people teach our kids. So we're going to go in through the laws, the how to schedule your days, how to work from home, and help your kids learn secondary schools, post-secondary, special needs. We're going to go through the whole
Terrific.
And that's on my website, learnfree.ca.
Learnfree.ca. Gail, thank you so much. Every time you join us, it's so informative. It's always amazing that we walk away with something that's actually tangibly useful, and we really appreciate that. Give us the Aero Conference site again.
It is aeroconference.org.
AERO conference.
AERO, because it's the Alternative Education Resource Organization.
All right.
.org. So aeroconference.org.
Who do you believe would benefit the most? And I realize you've got a lot of bases covered here, but who do you believe might benefit the most from tapping into some of these things?
Well, parents who are really maybe confused or frustrated or stressed, anxious about what their kids are going to be doing. The best way to feel more confident is to get more information.
Yeah.
And to share and ask those questions that you have. Are my kids going to lose a lot of their learning? Are they going to be at a level that, they should be? Those types of things. Cool. How do I get them to focus?
All right. Gail,
all those things.
Terrific. Again, appreciate you clicking in. Come back anytime. Good luck with the conference. Good luck with the hair. And have a great weekend.
I get to do a whole, Princess
Leia
the
thing.
Star Wars things.
Yeah, okay.
And Pippi.
All right. Take it easy, kiddo. Bye.
You too. Take care. Bye.
It's that easy, Lee. Anybody wants to come on the program?
Thank you, Kevin, for picking up. That's exactly where I was going to take this ball and run with it, but you go for it.
Yeah, all you have to do is click on the Zoom link there if you have the Zoom app. By now, everybody's used Zoom one point in their life, so just click on the Zoom link and come on and tell us that you got an event coming up. Tell us how you're feeling. Tell us what you're thinking. You got opinions on Stage 2, beaches in Niagara, living in Niagara, anything. We won't turn anybody down.
And this technology, by the way, that you're viewing right now, and as the program progresses, you'll see split screen shots. You'll see downtown shots. You'll see just what we did a few moments ago with bringing Gail into the program, like Kevin was just talking about. And as the show goes on, you are going to be watching. There's another shot of the streetscape, and yours truly and partner in crime, Kevin. Where I'm going with this is the fact that the quality, the technical quality of what we're doing. The other kind of quality, you can judge me and throw me into the bus if you want, that's okay. But as far as the technical quality of what it is that we do, it will rival any network television program that you see anywhere. Call it Fox, call it CNN, call it NBC, CBS, ABC, I don't care. To go national, CTV, CBC, pick them all. Nothing is going to match or surpass. Well, it might match, but it will not surpass the quality of what WeeStreem brings to the table. Kevin Jack and Brandon Scram, the founders of the company, are celebrating what is now Kevin's 6th anniversary of your company.
Yeah, 2015, we got our feet under us and started live streaming for the very first time. And now in the industry, that makes us chiseled veterans. As everybody's been jumping in the last year or 2 years, and we're so far past that. Lee, you know what? Let me get cooked up a wedding. We're getting a lot of requests for weddings.
As anybody will tell you that is starting a business, the first 2 years even, it's kind of like a marriage. If you get past year 1 or year 2, you got it made. And so many businesses collapse within the first year, and WeeStream is now celebrating its 6th successful anniversary. So, or should I say, the anniversary of its 6th successful year? That's probably a more accurate way to put it. So anyway, congratulations, Kevin and Brandon.
Thank you very much. And you know what, Lee? I mentioned it, so here, let me pull up. Here's a wedding that we live streamed in, where were we? Mississauga on Saturday. And here you go. Some beautiful speeches. The bride, her family was from Colombia. So we had a lot of Spanish comments online. And as you see here, full multicam, the full production. Again, we're unparalleled in the business. I truly do believe that and stand by that. When you hire WeeStream, you get exactly what you want.
Nice. Yeah. Well, congratulations to the betrothed.
And there they are right there. There you go.
That's nice. That's nice. It's it's unbelievable what this COVID has done to affect people's lives. And I'm sure that couple would have loved to have the pews in that lovely church filled with people. But in actual fact, it was filled with people. They were in their own pews at home. Everybody that they wanted to be at their wedding was there, courtesy of WeeStreem. So,
Thank you for that, Lee.
You're welcome.
Let's jump right to this, because I know this is something you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, this has been a story for a number of weeks, and I fear for these animals. I really do. The last time we had this on the air, it was announced that there is a family of coyotes living in a wooded area in a park off Ontario Street. And we were advised by Kevin Struband and the Humane Society people to not interfere with them. Chances are they are not harmful unless it's a cat or a small dog or something that wanders too close to where they're living. And they cannot be relocated. That's the thing here. People say, well, why don't we move them to a place where it's more appropriate for them to well, you can't do that with coyotes. The only thing that you can do is if you call in the Ministry of Natural Resources, they will bring in a professional hunter, which they do have on contract in the province. And if you own a cottage somewhere in the Northland, you're probably familiar with this. But anyway, when it comes to coyotes, if the ministry gets involved, they have to kill these coyotes, the entire family. They can't move them. They can't do anything. If they get involved, they have to be caught and killed. And they're not hurting anybody. So this is a coyote that was seen on Geneva Street, and I understand it's a little unsettling. I mean, I really do get it. Heading north on Geneva between Scott and Linwell, it's actually very, very close to where I live, with a raccoon with dinner in its mouth. The coyote's bringing dinner home for the family, and just leave them alone. Don't try to chase them. Don't try to hit them with your car or shoot them or anything. Just leave them alone. Protect your small pets if you live in the area, because they're hanging around the North End and St. Catharines. So just be aware of that, okay? Because it just, the concept of, I mean, they're not there because they really want to be there. They're there because that's where they are. You know, they don't know anything else. Oh, let's go live in the North End. I hear it's nice there. They don't think that way.
And like a lot of things, Lee, ultimately they were here first, right?
Yeah.
We pushed them into the small little wooded area.
Indeed. So I just wanted to touch on that because it's just like the concept of eradicating an entire family of wildlife just bothers the heck out of me.
Yeah, when you put it that way, it sounds so anti-Canadian. It does sound barbaric.
And one of these times, by the way, if there's anybody of the Humane Society ilk or knowledge of this topic, would you please click the link and talk to me about why we can't relocate coyotes? Because a lot of animals we can, but I don't understand. I mean, that would be the best case scenario, of course, if you could take these creatures to a lovely natural area that they liked, but apparently it's not possible with these animals. So, but I don't know why. It's just the information that we have.
Yeah,
anyway.
Sorry, can't help you on that one, Lee. I got no further insight to that.
Kevin, you're the executive producer. You're supposed to know all things.
Well,
You are the oracle of this program. You're supposed to know this stuff.
I do know where we're going to go next, and it's a heart-wrenching story that Nick shared on Niagara 411, and I guess it's called Jacob's Wall.
Jacob's Wall. There is a petition being circulated by the father of a young man who died as a result of a bizarre occurrence. And of course, we've all heard of the fact that we have had massive numbers of drug overdose deaths across the country from one of the biggest offenders of drug deaths, and that is fentanyl. Well, this gentleman started this petition. He's looking for a minimum of 1,500 signatures. I do believe he's going to get many more. But Steve Borisenko sent this note. His son passed away on June the 11th this year, just a week ago, from an accidental drug overdose. Someone somehow managed to lace his Xanax, which is it's an antidepressant, is it not, Kevin? Xanax?
Yeah, anti-anxiety, depression. Yeah.
Yeah. But laced it with fentanyl. Why this happens? Don't know the motivation. But this young man took this drug, laced with something he was unaware of, and passed away in his sleep. As you can imagine, the wounds are deep. His life is shattered. That's okay. It's a growing epidemic in the region. He made a mistake and paid for it with his life. And here's the rest of the story. The drugs are killing our kids every day. No one seems to be speaking about the problem, and it was a very, very, very loud on the radar screens of the public a couple of years ago when I was still doing some talk radio. It was a big, big deal. Fentanyl and all of these things was talked about a lot, but the talk has died down. The problem is still huge. The problem has not gone away, folks. What he wants from this position is more conversations about drug-related situations, obviously conversations with people that matter, i.e. NRPS and the medical community and all of these things. Admit the problem is out of hand. We've said it for a long time. And politicians, you can't turn away from this stuff. You've got to meet it head on, and we don't see that happening right now, and I agree with Steve that we don't. We want to know where the bad drugs are coming from. Who's bringing them in? If somebody's caught over the age of 18 trafficking these things, publish their names. If they're convicted, I believe. If they're using fentanyl, expose it. Find out everything that is going on with this thing. And of course, more funding for the police to be able to expand the street scene. Currently, there are 5 officers in the city of St. Catharines that are charged with, well, for the lack of a better word, policing this situation. So the petition is up there. You can find it on Niagara 411. Look for the post called Jacob's Wall. Click on sign the petition, and show your support, because the thing that I don't understand is why these pushers, dealers, whoever it is, why do they kill their customers? I just don't understand why that.
It's just you can feel the heartache in his words there. The father, Steve. I mean, June 11th. This is a fresh wound, and his son just taking Xanax, as so many people do, to kind of regulate their life. And
no
for
parent,
that to take his life.
No. I mean, no parent should ever have to bury a child. And in a situation like this, it's something that will haunt forever.
Awful.
I don't think you really recover from something.
You're right. I don't understand the point of that. Hey, we'll take something and we're going to lace it. It's
with something else.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
To bulk it up? Like, why do they even do that?
I have no idea. Honestly, I don't know what the motivation behind that would be, Lee.
Do not understand. One of the other things that happened, I'm going to just flashback of things that cropped up over the course of the week, is we are currently in the middle of what is apparently, what do we call this? A blitz of some sort. What do we? I want to get the actual name here. Where's the my mouse? My coyote mouse isn't working. Enforcement blitz.
Okay, of restaurants and retail outlets and stuff like that?
Yeah, so like all over Niagara, apparently. Now, this is the province that is doing this, but I think you may correct me if I'm wrong, I've been wrong once at least before, that it was some sort of request by the region. I don't think the province just pops up and does this. I think there's some sort of a regional request or partnership with this. But it's actually the province that is executing the blitz. And it shut down all of the Niagara Falls attractions on Clifton Hill because some of the operators believed that they were going to be able to open at least portions of their business. Not the whole thing, not go full scale, but certain portions, because everything is open to interpretation, right? But these blitzes are going on. Now, I don't know whether they're going through all the restaurants in Niagara or how the heck, but anyway, we're in the middle of this thing right now, just so that you know. And
sorry, Lee, but coming up on the program, we are going to talk about what is open and closed in Niagara Falls.
Yes, we have that coming up a little bit later. One of the attractions, which is so cool, is a Niagara power generating station, sort of like right on the rapids between Chippewa and Niagara Falls. Was set to open on Canada Day for tours, and for me, a long time, born in Niagara Falls, Niagara resident, that building has been an impressive edifice ever since I couldn't remember. And I can't remember the number of times I said, man, I'd love to go in there. I'd love to see what's in there. Well, you're going to be able to do that. And you were supposed to be able to do that starting July 1st. It was set to open in a rather obviously important way on Canada Day. Well, because of you know what, it's now not going to be opening until the end of July for tours. So we're going to be having the CEO, the president, the head, the manager, pick a title, the big cheese, at Niagara Power Generating Station, David Adames. He's going to be, which comes under the auspices of the Niagara Parks Commission, of course. He's going to be coming on to talk to us about the tours and how you can go in and get a look, etc. Now, this is phase one of the tour plans that they have for the generating station. And part two is going to be sort of a tunnel down the falls. It's going to be so cool, and I was really looking forward to it opening on Canada Day. There's a little video that there's David, and he's going to be joining us near the end of July. So this is just a little taste of what you'll be able to see when you go through this place.
The building is so cool.
Oh, Kevin, I think that it's just fascinating. It kind of gives me tingles because I've looked at this building for so many years. And it was like last summer. No, it wasn't last summer, summer before actually, 2019. I had a chance to go through, because I lived in Kingston for 10 years, I had a chance to go through the Kingston Penitentiary.
Wow.
Which is one of those iconic,
it is,
sad buildings, truly. In our history, but
it's part of the Kingston cityscape.
It's part of the country history books.
It really is.
But like this one, it's going to be so great.
Now, Lee, and again, that's opening up in July. Let's introduce everybody to this guy.
This
been
guy
on the program before.
Yeah, Para-bob, Lonnie Bissonnette. Welcome to the program again, Lonnie. How you doing? You got the best smile on the planet. Has anybody ever told you that? You do.
It's all life, right? You know, if you're having a good time in life, it comes out.
Yeah, your
smile. How you been? It's been a while.
Yeah, your smile lights up the room, man. So listen, congratulations. I don't know whether you think it's worthy of congratulations, but the last time we talked to you, you were headed to Switzerland to compete. And you came out with the silver. You missed the gold by like this much.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
It was good. Obviously with COVID, our season wasn't as per usual, so we had a condensed season, and we had all of our races on only 2 tracks.
Okay.
Which makes it a little. Makes it a little more difficult for other pilots if one of those tracks are not your home track. But we still got a season off, so that was good. Other sports didn't get to do anything, so thankful for that.
Well, Mr. Para-Bob, you still brought back a great showing for the country, so congratulations and thanks again for representing us so well.
Thanks.
Now, the reason we reached out to you this week, Lonnie, is because I noticed your post about a fundraising effort that you're involved with for Team Canada, and I thought we'd love you to tell us about it in person. So, what's going on?
Yeah. Well, first off, I want to say that the fundraiser is not for myself personally. It's for Team Canada. We need equipment to train in, as well as to teach new pilots how to drive safely. We do not have a designated adoptive bobsled for the Canadian team.
Okay.
We had a sled that I had kind of doctored up and did what I could to make it so that I could use it. However, that sled's now been allocated to the women's monobob because they are now an official Olympic sport.
Right.
So we really don't get much chance to use that sled. So we don't have any sled at all really designated for the para team. And bobsleds are not cheap. An adaptive monobob for us is somewhere in the neighborhood between 25 and 30,000 euros.
Wow.
Which sounds like a lot of money. But in comparison to the able-bodied bobsleds, like a two-man bobsled or a four-man bobsled, are much more. A two-man bobsled, a competitive sled, will run you somewhere in the neighborhood of 100,000. And a four-man sled, you're pushing $150,000 each sled. So for our sled at 30,000 euros is actually quite cheap. It's a deal, but it's still a lot of money.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is a lot of money. I mean, for a sport that, I mean, you don't have a lot of heavy underwriters financially for the sport, so $30,000 does become a lot of money.
Yeah, and that's 30,000 euro.
Or 30,000 euros, excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah, it works out to about 40,000 Canadian dollars.
Right. So how does the fundraiser work?
The fundraiser, I partnered up with Parasport Ontario, and it's part of the Million Minute Challenge, which is physical activity. We're trying to achieve 1 million minutes of physical activity throughout Ontario, and anybody who donates, it goes through Parasport Ontario, so they will receive a tax deduction, a tax receipt for it. So far, I've had some friends, close friends, especially in the skydiving world, have chipped in some money, but we're a long ways away from what we need. So what we could really use is a corporate sponsor that would chip in, and at that point, when we get the sled, we could put their logo on the side of the sled.
Sure.
And that'll be permanent, because the sled will be based in Whistler, because Whistler's the only active track left in Canada. So the sled would be left there, and we would use it for schools to teach new pilots how to drive, so that we can further the sport and help the sport grow in Canada, as well as the experienced pilots will be able to go there and use the sled for training before our international competitions. And
who does the training, Lonnie? Because I mean, this is a specialized sport, obviously.
Yeah. The training is the Canadian para-bobsled team guys, the pilots who are competing at this point. Which is, right now we only have 2 guys that are actively competing, myself and Lee Thiebaud. Although we're trying to bring new blood into the sport, but we can't do that without a safe piece of equipment for them. We can't just jerry rig some sort of sled and say, here you go, here you're going to send you down the track to learn how to drive. We need something that's made specifically for what we're doing, and that is safe.
Because you told us the speeds that you reach. What are the top speeds that you reach again when you're racing these world-class races?
Well, in Whistler's the fastest track in the world. I've hit 132 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
And
so this isn't fooling around.
You're not fooling around. You know, if you have a crash at 132 kilometers an hour, you definitely need some safe equipment that was built specifically for the purpose that you're using. So that's the reason why we need this sled.
Okay, so how do we help? Where do we go? How do we give?
There's a million minutes challenge. I think I sent Kevin the link to the Canadian Para-bobsled team. And from there, you can follow the links to sponsor us.
Okay.
And the money goes through Parasport Ontario. It does not come through me or anybody else. It goes through the association, which will issue a tax receipt.
millionminutes.ca. Pretty easy to remember. And what's next on the calendar for Lonnie?
Well, it's summertime, and we're still in a bit of a lockdown. So I'm trying to get out and get as much exercise as I can on my hand cycle. So I've been doing that, and we've got some skydives planned, some wheelchair skydives coming up this summer.
You're still skydiving?
So, I'm still skydiving with the wheelchair. So
wow.
We still have some fun.
Wow. You are amazing. Okay, millionminutes.ca. As always, Lonnie, it's a pleasure. Like I said, you light up the room for us, and you always make us feel good. And these days, that's in short supply. So we appreciate that. Believe me.
I appreciate you guys always supporting me and always being there for us. This is something that's true to my heart. So
yeah, well, keep us posted on how the fundraiser's going. Okay, and pop in from time to time to give us an update. Don't wait for an invitation. Just come on in anytime.
All right. Thanks, Lee.
And Lonnie, just before we let you go here, I always love pointing out the fact that well displayed and framed behind you there, those are 4 World Championship trophies.
Yeah.
You're born, raised St. Catharines. You're doing St. Catharines proud on an international stage. 4-time world champion, man. That's really damn impressive.
Yeah. Thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
As always, Lonnie, enjoy your weekend. Have a nice summer. And good luck with the fundraiser.
Thank you so much, guys.
You're welcome. millionminutes.ca. There you go. We're trying to help Lonnie help get Paralympic Canada, Para Canada get themselves a trainer sled for future world bobsled competitors in the Paralympics, in the para world. So that's very cool. I love that guy. There's some people, Kevin. I never like to, frankly, having my picture taken because they say smile. I never had a smile that looked like I was smiling. I don't know. It was never, to me anyway. It didn't look. But that guy, his whole face just lights up, and he's such a happy guy. And injured himself. I mean, he's an extreme athlete. He is an extreme sport athlete. He's an adrenaline chaser, and always has been. And has a skydiving accident. And when he comes out of that, not only has he turned to bobsledding on a professional scale, a world-class scale, he's still skydiving. Like, holy cow! Would you go anywhere near? Reminds me of an ad that I saw. Parachute for sale, still in the box, never open. Like, holy cow! Anyway,
and it's amazing how he's just taking it all in stride. Okay, this is my life now. How can I excel? Yeah. In this endeavor? And he's a 4-time world champion.
I still want the rush. I still need the juice, the adrenaline, whatever. But man, what a nice and such a nice guy. I know that's an overused word, nice, but he is. He's the genuine article.
Lee, prior to talking to Lonnie, you were talking about the journey behind, or not journey behind the falls, but the power station.
Yes.
But you were talking about the attractions in Niagara Falls. We told people we'd let them know what's open and closed.
Yeah, let's do that. So, and again, it's always confusing in Niagara. because we never really know what Premier Hergy is going to announce. But as far as the Niagara Parks Commission is concerned, yes, I know what I said. I know what I said. This is the list of attractions and happenings under the auspices of the Niagara Parks Commission that are open and closed. Oh, look, the road is open. Well, that's good. That's a nice start. The Niagara Parkway is open. That's really a good start. The Whitewater Walk is open. That's good too. That's a nice day out. The butterflies. What are the butterflies going to do without people looking at them? That's closed. The power station that we were talking about was due to open on the 1st. Now not. Aerocar's open. That's cool. The Niagara's Fury attraction is closed. Niagara City Cruise is closed. Zipline closed. Whirlpool Adventure Course. That is open. What that is, that sounds a little bit more exotic than it actually is. It's across from the Whirlpool Golf Course, just, what would it be, Kevin? Just north of Victoria Avenue where the helicopters are.
Yep.
And it's on the right-hand side, on the side of the gorge. And it's just kind of a big play gym for kids, basically. All right, it's a pretty exotic one, but that's what it is.
Yeah, I think of the brand name Treetop Trekking, but
yeah,
pretty much explains what it is.
Something like that. The Incline Railway is closed. Table Rock House closed. Restaurants that might change to some degree next Wednesday. We'll see. Now it's kind of neat to see that all of the public restrooms under the auspices of the Parks Commission are open. So you can't do anything else, but you can relieve yourself legally at the washrooms. So that's good if you go for a walk. Queenston Heights Restaurant, obviously. Legends, that's the golf course. Their restaurant's closed. All the restaurants are going to be closed. Floral Show House, unfortunately, is closed because that's a nice. Botanical Gardens, though, are open. That's a nice walk if you have a chance to do that on over Canada Day. Niagara Glen Trails. Stay on the trail, please. Stay on the trail, please. We don't want to see orange helicopters flying into Niagara. Please stay on the trail. Niagara, did I say stay on the trail? Niagara Glen Nature Center is open. The picnic pavilion is closed. There you go again. Washrooms are open at the Glen. Queenston Heights Park Gardens, you can walk through those. Queenston Heights Picnic Pavilion is closed. Kingsbridge Park is open. There again. The washrooms are all systems go. Dufferin Islands, you can get in there. They're open as well. Boat launch, of course. Now there'd be road, boat launch, Anger Avenue. Anyway, any place that you normally launch your boat, you'll be able to launch your boat, including Miller's Creek. Restaurants, what else? Anything else down there, Kevin, that's worthy of mention?
A bunch of Laura Secord stuff closed. McFarland House.
Yeah. Regular Erie. Tours are closed.
It's the Tailor-Made Performance Center. Is that attached to Legends?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like a training facility.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they include that.
I get. You know what, Kev? I don't sweat the small stuff anymore because it makes my head hurt. I just don't ask that many questions.
But all parking lots are open, so that's good. So people...
Now you can't go see the butterflies, but you can go see the butterfly washrooms. So all is not lost.
Oh, and they're fantastic facilities there.
Anyway, that just gives you a rundown. There are some great things to see and do around Niagara and up and down the Parkway and all those areas under the auspices of the Niagara Parks Commission. And I do want to take this moment out to, again, as you see on your screen, thank our sponsors, Gales Gas Bars, fueling Niagara and fueling this program in this season 2, episode 25. Always wonderful to have their support. Later in July, I have to be gone for a couple weeks, but the program will continue. But when I get back, I'm going to be speaking with Jessica Gale Friesen about her new book that launches next Wednesday, by the way. I believe it's a 5 p.m. launch. And It is a book that deals with her personal journey through the darkened world of postpartum depression. Her oldest son, Eddie, is now 14, I believe, and she always wanted to be a mom. Prepared her whole life, just about, psychologically, to be a mom, but was and thought she was prepared, but was not prepared for the psychological nightmare that she had to experience. And she's finally written a book about it, and it's to great acclaim, and it officially launches next Wednesday at 5 p.m. And we're really looking forward to talking with Gales Gas CEO Jessica Friesen on that topic. Very, very courageous thing to do, Kevin, especially for a successful business person. She was originally a nurse by profession, and took over the company a few years ago. And but in spite of your position, it's still a very, very courageous thing for a human being to do, to admit that that they had these dark times because of being a mom. Like, wow. Talk about some of the guilt trips that she probably went through. Anyway, I hope you can join us for that episode. We'll let you know when it's coming up, because it's important. A lot of people, as they say, Kevin, with mental illness, suffer in silence, and they suffer in silence way too long. For all the wrong reasons, like the fellow we saw earlier that came out. Not that being gay is a mental illness. Don't get me wrong. But anytime you're trying to hide something because you think you will be rejected by your friends and family and society, is terribly, terribly stressful. So it's incredibly, incredibly brave for these people to do this stuff. We have coming up on the program, and he may be sitting even as we speak in the green room, eating WeeStream's free food and enjoying the beverages that WeeStream has set up in the green room. You don't do that, Kev?
Not this week.
I thought you were like the Tonight Show or something like that.
Not this week.
All right. Is Scott Holmes. He is the CEO of NWIC, one of our sponsors, whom we thank very, very much for being a part of the program. And there he is right now.
I think we just...
Did we just lose him?
Yeah, just had a computer slip up on our end, which gives us an opportunity to work our way. I'll get Scott back here.
Yeah,
and gives us a chance to talk about some of the other people that support the program.
Yeah, thank you. Because that's where I was gonna go. And Carlo Zucchini and all of his wonderful crew at Performance Heating and Air. These days, boy, you need the air conditioner working properly. That is for sure. So Performance Heating and Air, always 2 thumbs up sponsors of this show. Thank you so much for staying on board with us. We really, really appreciate it. And a Mark Shirk and Blake and the entire crew over at Verge Insurance Group, another made for Niagara business for all your insurance needs. Verge Insurance, check them out. Get quotes for whatever you need, etc., and they'll look after you. All right. We have Scott back, I believe. Sorry about the little bit of a dropout there, Mr. Holmes. Welcome to the program.
No problem.
Should I say
know all about internet difficulties?
Yeah, of all people to have an internet dropout, it's got to be you, right?
Well, I'll say we are not.
Actually, we were still up. I don't know what happened there. So
we are not using NWIC on our end.
No. It was on our end, Scott, not yours.
Okay.
Okay.
Just checking. My phone's not ringing, so I assume we're good.
No, we're okay. So, tell us first of all, right off the bat. I mean, high-speed internet solutions, and again, developed in and run in and for Niagara. Predominantly, as I understand, it's intended as a rural service, but you also do urban work as well. Where'd you guys come from? Tell us about the germination of this business.
Yeah, sure. So the easy answer is, I founded NWIC in 2011, but a lot of the building blocks happened much before then. So those that know me, parent company to NWIC is Extreme Technology Corporation. So we started that 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And at the time there was a smaller wireless company in the area called Wireless Works, and we were supporting their network from an IT perspective.
Okay.
And then in 2011, the owner retired, and we bought the 100 or so customers they had, and we started to grow NWIC into an organization across all of Niagara to really, service the needs of residential and commercial rural clients. It was a need that wasn't really being handled seriously, and it was in large need of.
And why do you think, or is it just because it wasn't a profit margin for them? The so-called big guys of the wireless world sort of left that out of their business plan. Why do they leave such a lovely big hole for you guys to come into the market?
Yeah, so there's a lot of these pockets. So part of my volunteer work, I'm the president of CanWIS, which is the Association of Canadian Wireless Internet Service Providers, smaller operators. And there's large areas to cover. So the incumbents look for profitable areas, high dense areas where they can get infrastructure in relatively inexpensive for how many households it's going to service. So, it left a lot of these voids out there. And the cellular communications that we have in Canada, it's requires a license and frequency, and it can get quite costly. So it wasn't on the radar for a lot of them. What is the
main catalyst for people when they come to you and they choose you and say, hey, I gotta go with you guys? What's the why? What's the hook?
Yeah, there's a few reasons. I would say number one that we don't have any caps, right? So what you pay is what you pay. I've never had an overage fee or an interest fee since we've started this business. We work with our clients. There's no contract, so we have to earn their business every single month. And those are a couple of things that we really, I'm born and raised in Niagara. I can't stand when you think you get into a good deal and then you find out that it's not so good. So we try to keep really transparent about that in the telecommunication world specifically. So, for us, it's just a reliable connection. And we offer more upload than a lot of the providers do, even in urban areas like on cable and things like that. Like our wireless plans have more upload. And you say well, why do we need more upload? Well, the pandemic and video streaming and everything that you're doing from home all requires upload. It's not just downloading music or watching TV and those sort of things. It requires a two-way connection that's equally as important on up as it is in down now.
For people that, and believe me, there are a lot of people, you have no idea how many people don't even understand the terminology. You're talking upload and download, and
sure.
I know one of the bullet points that I've been talking about your company since you came on as a sponsor, and thank you again, by the way, is this gigabyte per second, and the sort of jargon of the industry. What does all this stuff mean?
Yeah, so when we think about storage and capacity, it's in bytes, it's in gigabytes, it's in megabytes. When we talk about speed, it's in bits, and there is a relationship between the two. But I'm not here to teach computer science engineering today or network engineering. We'll save that for episode 45 or something like that.
Okay, all right, cool, yeah.
But essentially, the megabits per second is the actual. If you think about it, it's the size of the pipe that you have, right?
Yeah.
So the larger pipe you have, the more you can do with it. A Netflix TV show to watch, to give you an idea, is about 5 megabits per second. And if you want to watch the Jays game in HD, it's closer to 25.
Boom.
So there is a range, and that would be in 4K for the Jays game, of course. But, if you do want to watch these things, it really depends on what you're trying to do with your connection. And then there's latency, right? So then we talk about speeds, and then we talk about the latency. So some customers, for example, have used satellite services, which have decent upload and download, but it takes half a second for the round trip to come around. So the latency is so high that we can't have a two-way meeting like we're having today.
Now, is your service area is all of Niagara?
Yeah, we actually have all of Niagara, and we actually have we're actually into Haldimand a little bit as well too. We cover that fringe of Haldimand, so we have 75 sites in the region. Cool.
Now, tell us a little bit about this thing that I've seen, the Think Big initiative from your company. What is that?
Yeah, so Think Big is a commercial offering that we have, if you go to the Toronto Stock Exchange or the New York Stock Exchange, the really big traders use these microwave radios from the exchange to their trading houses because they have faster latency than what you would see even out of fiber. So our Think Big connections have basically everything that you would ever get even out of a fiber network and more. It's a more costly product, but what it allows us to do is promote really high connectivity options in the region for businesses that need it or looking to relocate to the region, and not be solely dependent on the infrastructure that is there or may never come there.
So this is sort of a separate business offering that you have.
Yeah. So Think Big right now, we have packages that will do up to gigabit per second, full duplex, so 1 gig up, 1 gig down. But we're actually trialing technology next week that will do 10 gigabits per second up and down. So this always pushing the bar.
Yeah, Scott, this seems to me a great time to be talking about these things because of the last, 18 months to 2 years that people have been, and even more and more now, working from home, and these companies have the potential of having employees working all over the place. So this sounds like a great product for that. Am I dreaming or am I on with that?
Yeah, for the commercial enterprise, it's a great offering. It's a little too costly to bring into the home at this point, but as technology advances, things get cheaper. We are actually working on it's called urban revitalization projects too. So we've always been in the rural areas. We're going to be always a staple in the rural area, but there's a lot of subdivisions that are 15, 20 years old that have copper in the ground that's not meeting the needs of today, and the incumbents don't have the desire to replace it. A lot of these have 35-year amortization periods, so that copper is going to be in the ground for their 20 years before they do anything significant to it. So we are coming out with some wireless technology that will do 100, 200, 300 megs to the home at an affordable rate, sub $100.
You guys also spend quite a bit of time and effort and money given back to the community as well with some philanthropic things. You've got a bit of a pet umbrella name, NWIC Cares. I've seen that bandied about on your website as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, born and raised in Niagara, I feel it's really important. All of our staff are from the Niagara region too. So we really want to help and give back in the areas that we actively live in. So we have a program called NWIC Cares. It's for not-for-profits. It's for charities. And basically they fill out a form on our website, tell us about some of the great things that they're doing in the region, and then we give them a 50% discount on their monthly subscription fees.
Awesome. One more question for you, and this is the one that gets a lot of attention from people like me that have had more wireless contracts over the course of a professional career than I can even count at this point in time, and there isn't one of them that doesn't come with some sort of headache for the consumer, and probably for the provider too, for that matter. But no contracts. How do you, and like you said earlier, you've got to earn your business every month, but that's kind of hard to do every month, but you guys obviously do it well. What's the how does that work for you?
Yeah, so we have an under 1% churn rate, which is really good in our area. Most of our churn actually happens from people moving, and that's been an ongoing thing in the last year. We've seen real estate obviously have a lot of effect of that, but from our standpoint, we're a local company. We want to make sure our customers are happy, and we'll go to that extra limit to make them do that. If we do that, we'll keep our brand recognition high. We'll keep reviews high. If we force people to be in a contract or force them to be in a relationship they don't want to be in, it's never good for either party. I mean, maybe it's good for the bank account or the bank statement for the one party, but not for the other. So, I've never modeled our ethics behind that. We want to earn the business each month.
What a concept. Customer service. Scott, what's the future look like for your business? I mean, there probably isn't an industry whose rate of progress is faster than technology and satellite and internet and all those things, because it's just at a blinding speed most of the time. What are you guys looking to for the future?
Yeah, like we're servicing about 5,500 customers right now in the area. And, we're increasing that each month. And from our standpoint, we're going to continue operating in the rural areas. We have a lot of improvements to speed. We're actually launching IPTV in the next few months, so our customers can have local TV stations as long with some of the premium TV stations too. So we're kind of working on some of the technology behind that, and then we're going to obviously start launching some services into some of these urban areas that are also just in real need of faster connectivity than what they're getting today.
Yep.
And continue building out the network.
So business is good.
Business is good. Yeah, we
excellent.
We keep setting the records. One thing from the pandemic, we haven't had a lot of people go on vacation, but it's like we're going to have to slow down eventually because the pace is pretty rampant right now.
How many people do you employ here in Niagara, Scott?
Just over 32.
Awesome. That's great. Well, Niagara 411 Live would like to claim great responsibility for all your success. So
that's great. Absolutely.
Anyway, all kidding aside, we do thank you very much for your sponsorship. This program is all about Niagara, and as are you, and it's a perfect fit for us, and I hope for you. And thanks for filling us in a lot more on what it is you guys do. It's nice to meet you finally, face to face.
Yes, you as well. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye, Scott. Scott Holmes, CEO of NWIC, high-speed internet for Niagara. Good guy, great service, and it always is reminding me that where there is a need, there will be a business that will be formed to fulfill that need, and somebody will always do it. And it was always my argument when discussing crown corporations, like what Air Canada used to be, not now, but CBC, for example, crown corporation, supported by your tax dollars. And I always thought it odd that I was paying taxes as a private broadcaster. I was paying taxes to fund my competition. I always wondered where that business model got off the rails. Now, it serves a purpose, but my argument was, just to relate to what I was saying, is if something happened that all of the funding, government funding, tax funding, all the rest of it, went by the board for, just as an example, I'm not beating up the CBC, you do good work, but if it all disappeared and they had to completely retool and just say, hey, we can't do this anymore, if there's a need, and there clearly is, if there's a need to unite Canada via radio and television and all these things, Canada's network, so to speak, there would be a private operator and developer that would come and provide that need, because they would see a profit in it. They would see a benefit to it. And it always makes me wonder about things that are funded by governments. Do they really have to be funded by governments? I don't think so.
Yeah, bringing it back to, I think CBC started to go a little awry when, it was like Everybody Loves Raymond, Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy. And like, well, hold on, you're kind of...
And they sell advertising, too.
Yeah, you're steering away from your mandate a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're right, it's interesting as professional broadcasters, as you and I were at one point in our lives.
In the private world.
In the private world, that you're right, the business would pay taxes that inevitably funded your competition that were trying to draw the same eyeballs or same ears.
Yeah.
So
it's a little bit weird. But anyway, to come back to our sponsors, that is just a prime example of why we do this program, is because there's a company that employs about 32 people right now, and it sounds like it will possibly be more because they're just super busy, and their business sector is growing like crazy. And a lot of it is because of the effects of COVID, but just because the whole internet, wireless kind of communication world is expanding geometrically as well. And that's just a prime fit for what it is we're trying to do here. Verge Insurance Group, the same thing. Performance, Heating and Air. They have family here as well. They're trying to save your family money because they have families that they need to save money for as well. So it's not just a corporate logo on your bill. It's a Niagara Niagara company, as all of our companies are. And Gale's, what can you say about Gale's gas bars? Like since 1967, fueling this area, and it just continues to do so. And the number of philanthropic causes supported by that company are legendary as well. So it's cool. And Nick at Niagara 411 has become, I think, Kevin, Niagara's premier, as it happens, in real time news source. I really think it is, because as traditional media continues to shrink, and it's no secret, it is shrinking because of the splintering of audience across all media platforms. Staffs shrink so companies can stay in business. There aren't as many investigative reporters. There aren't any, I mean, I don't know a radio or TV station. Well, I guess TV station has the odd reporter that goes out to do a voicer on a story. But you don't have people out crawling the streets. I know the radio stations don't. They can't afford it. So, and because of people like you that are watching this program and supply Nick and us with your feedback and your comments, your posts, your pictures, your videos, it helps us help Niagara stay informed about itself. And that's kind of the whole idea of this program. And you can do that by clicking it. See, it says there, join the show live by video chat. Click the Zoom link. That's all you have to do, is click, and you can tell us about things. You don't, like I said to Lonnie and to Gail earlier, and Gail gets it. Every time something's going on, she clicks in and she calls us, says, hey, just to let you guys know, this is happening, and she gets it. So if you want to do the same thing about anything that's happening in your world here in Niagara, you let us know. You don't need an invitation. You have an open invitation. Consider this your invitation to come on the program at any time, and it's really easy to do.
Lee, I want to put in a little plug here along those same lines. Coming up to wrap up the show, we do it each and every week.
Yeah.
We show you a live shot of St. Paul and then play a music video from a Niagara artist. Going to go in the Wayback Machine for an old tune from My Son the Hurricane, Smile. It's probably their most popular song of all time, at least if you go by Spotify and online views and things like that. Love that song. We're always looking for more music videos to feature here on the program. If you know a local artist, and the one catch is you have to have a music video.
Yes,
okay,
we are a visual program.
All right, so if you got a music video and you're from Niagara, the artists are from Niagara, at least mainly based in Niagara, drop a link and we'll feature them on an upcoming episode. And it's that easy to get a little more exposure for a lot of the great talent that we have right here in Niagara, including the good boys over at and girls, actually. Sorry, Sylvie. The good boys and girls over at My Son the Hurricane. And sorry, I see there's a friend of mine, Julia, walking behind you.
Julia.
Yeah, she can't hear us all the way on the other side of the street, but that's Julia.
All right. Just to recap some of the things that we were talking about today, to bring you back into the loop, of course. Stage 2 is going to be launched in Ontario. That is the reopening Stage 2. Is going to be effective in Ontario 12:01 a.m. June 30th, which is like Tuesday night, Wednesday morning of next week, and in time for Canada Day. What we have not seen yet, and I'm sure you will, what we have not seen yet is if Niagara is going to follow the rest of the province. This Section 22 silliness, I don't know. And I'm sorry, I went along with the herd, I guess, at the beginning, or the herd G, as you might say. But it's time to jump on board the Ontario train and have Niagara go as the rest of the province goes. I mean, this separate world order is ridiculous. So, but we don't know, Kevin. We have not officially seen or heard that the so-called Section 22 order has been or will be rescinded. I don't know.
Who knows?
So we've got province of Ontario and the province of Niagara, and we have Premier Ford and Premier Hergy, and never the twain shall meet, apparently. But hopefully the twain shall meet.
And
Lee, the Twain is going to be winning in Toronto this week, actually.
Let's some encouraging numbers out of Niagara for today, and I guess we could leave the program with this.
Okay, 6. Hey, Doc, 6 new cases today. Active cases, 188 out of 500,000 people. New resolved cases, 20. That's good. Total number of cases is kind of irrelevant at this point. Total number of deaths is never, ever good, but that number is 414. And you see the resolved number of cases. So we're kind of in pre-third wave lockdown number territory, if my memory serves. So we have also, as far as the Ontario numbers are concerned, we have reached the benchmarks as far as vaccinations are detailed that would technically allow us into phase 3 or stage 3 of the reopening. But we're just getting to stage 2 next week. Guys, gals, Kevin, as always, it's a pleasure. Niagara 411 Live just is a blast for me to do, and thank you for being here so that I can do it. I love it. Gales Gaspars for fueling this program as always. Thank you, and again to our other sponsors: Performance Heating and Air, NWIC, high-speed internet service in Niagara, and Verge Insurance. As always, we appreciate your sponsorship more than you know. Nick at Niagara 411, and of course Dave Mukperian and his staff at Fiddler's Poorhouse. They open today at 3. And then, Kevin, it's Thursday through Saturday at noon, right?
Yeah, I think,
Thursday through Sunday?
By next week, we'll be in stage 2, so maybe we'll loosen some hours around here. But yeah,
we'll have some more to report.
Fridays through Sundays, they're open at noon.
Always lovely to sit in your window, David, on St. Paul Street in St. Catharines. Enjoy your beautiful sunny summer day, and we turn you over now to play us off the stage, My Son the Hurricane. Thanks, folks, for being here. Appreciate it.
Smile, be our umbrella when the wicked rain comes down. Let your smile be our umbrella when the wicked rain comes down. Let your smile be our umbrella when the wicked rain comes down.
And every year I stroll through this underdeveloped path in the grass, and every year I cut through like I'm smashing the glass, and every tear that I drew taught me something. In fact, to look back and see a pathway that's just littered in puddles, sight the difference between the bitter and the sour. A deep breath, I'm taking time to smell the flowers, start cooking with spices, leaving out the condiments, the love of a woman and the feeling of accomplishment. Virgo, clean, creative and methodical, organized like the chocolates inside of a box of pot of gold. I'm a bit unstable, like the waters in a kettle, that I will be until the day the anxiety in my chest settles. Cause I researched, did the work, and formed an opinion, and man, I didn't even really like them from the beginning, but now I'm just overwhelmed with the disappointing news that the bad guys can win and the good guys lose.
Let your smile be our umbrella when the wicked rain comes down.
Yeah.
Let your smile be our umbrella when the wicked rain comes down.
It's a fresh start, head's finally feeling comfortable on my shoulders. Call it maturity, man, I'ma just call it getting older. And it's all good, and it's all in good health. I need to stop impressing everybody and start impressing myself, cause I'm a man, a voice, an opinion, homo sapien, creatively inclined and proud to be Canadian. Held down by a job that held me down for too long. It's a shame when you and your paycheck don't get along, but with no list, there's no selection, and your consciousness is no direction, and you're haunted with the thought of never getting out. Well, here it is, a new you, a clean slate, and a chance to break through. Cause when that ball drops, so does the hammer. It's just us against the world with a smile fit for the camera. This time it's ours, let's take it and own it. Adjust our